we've ever had anybody come on Zoom.
Well.
Unless
we
they
have
were
just-
a member.
I mean, ours, yeah.
They were scheduled speakers and.
Actually, I think this printouts, I
Oh, the
brought this
printouts?
with me, but
There you
I
go.
think. maybe-
You guys are good to go. You're on.
Does anyone else need a?
Oh.
Oh, I got it in my head. I'm good. Thanks.
We'll have to edit that out.
No,
In the participants.
Yeah.
Right, so somebody will come up and you can just admit. But so far, and then when you're finished, just hit end.
Thank you.
And I'm right in there, you know where I'm covering up.
You're welcome. Okay. So I guess since we have a relatively, some new and some old members of the commission, I'm gonna start the meeting today. And going to call the meeting of the Town Conservation Commission, regularly scheduled meeting on Thursday, September 11th. It is 12:04. I'm going to do a roll call, and we'll do a roll call a little differently today because people would like to meet some of the new members. So why don't I start with Susan? You want to start? You say your name, give your little background.
I joined the Conservation Commission.
Say your first and last name.
Pardon?
Say your first and last name for the record.
Susan Schweitzer. Sorry. I think almost at the very beginning. I was checking my,
When was the beginning? Since I've only been here 2 years, so.
oh no, I go
No, that's what I mean. I don't know how long that goes.
right. And we've had sort of a variety of commissioners, which is also very interesting. It provides a lot of interest areas so that our points of concentration, so to speak, have shifted over the years. My background is actually in landscape architecture and landscape and park design. I worked for the city of Norwalk for 30 years in that area. So this was a natural interest for me. So I've appreciated the opportunity and I've enjoyed the cycling through. It's actually been very interesting because I never spent a lot of time in New Canaan because I was working. And so it was nice to meet people.
Oh, great.
Mhm.
Great. I'm Ann Silvio and let's see, I joined, Chris Shipper invited me to join probably 3 years ago. And my background is in journalism. So I was at CBS News for a long time at 60 Minutes. Before that, I was in newspapers at the Boston Globe and other publications. And I made a job change from newsrooms to teaching. So now I teach at the university level and teach journalism. And so it was an opportunity for me to look into what do I want to do? How do I want to help my town? So service, you can't do that when you're a working journalist. So this is an area of interest for me because we moved here 10 years ago and we started looking at converting our lawn it was really a field into a wildflower meadow. And we have one of the mid-century moderns in town, so it's like all glass. And so what we have outside really, we look at it all the time. So we were trying to do something more than just a lawn that we could look at all year round. So that led me to becoming interested in joining the pollinator pathway. And I thought, oh, this could be something cool to be involved with for the town. So.
Excellent.
All right.
I'm Tom Cronin. This is my first meeting with the Conservation Commission. I have served in other roles for the town. I actually grew up here in town, which led me to take on a role as a member of the Board of Education. I was elected, this was about 10 years ago. Also served on the now defunct tree committee about 12 years ago under Rob Lazzi. Also have done some other volunteer work like the New Canaan Land Trust. I was president for the last 7 years, been on the board for about 11, just cycled off that. Also done some other board work with the Stowe Land Trust, the Stowe Performing Arts Center up in Stowe, Vermont, and also involved in some national organizations like the Trust for Public Land and the Trustees of the Reservation.
I'm Tom Herman. I'm a software developer. I work mostly in carbon accounting and other sustainability oriented things. I'll spend a lot of time working on carbon credits, mostly generated from nature-based solutions like forestry projects in Southeast Asia, Africa, Latin America, counting carbon sequestered through the forests and released through forest degradation and so forth. And just, I'm also on the board of Planet New Canaan, and just find this interesting.
Terry, why don't you just introduce yourself? So
I'm Tiger Man. I'm Director of
for
Public
those who
Works.
don't know who he is.
Yeah, I've been with the town for 26 years and I'm just happy to be here.
No, thank you.
Dude, we have, Fusek joining.
Fusek, is Fusek here? No, he's not in
He was-
the waiting room as far as I.
Yeah,
can
he
tell.
said he was going to join by Zoom in his
Yeah,
email.
that's what I thought. Oh, well,
Okay, well, if he joins, you can add him.
patch him in.
As long as we only have one guest, would you introduce yourself as well?
Yes, absolutely, and thank you for asking. So my name is Jen Zonas and I'm on town council, and we have different liaisons to the different commissions and committees in town, and so I'm the chair of the conservation, like I'm the chair of the conservation committee that is the liaison with you, and I really look forward to, I'm gonna try this year to come to your meetings in person. Last year I cheated a little bit in the sense I have a long time friendship with Robin, and so often I could get a lot of info from a quick phone call or a walk. So, but I'd really like to get to know you guys better. And when I have a moment to speak, I think there's something that we could potentially can engage you guys with. There's a potential opportunity for this year. Thanks for asking. And always your email, always open. Any way I can be supportive.
Great. All right. So with that, I guess we will do the organizational meeting where we elect officers. And that's my privilege as first selectman to run those elections. So I'm happy to be here. And just, I think I've told all of you this, I don't often come to your meetings because I'm usually doing things during the day, but I watch every meeting. So I watch the replay of every single meeting you've ever had.
What speed?
It's a little dicey for me. I get a little scrambled after that. All right, so if we could start off with the nominations for the office of chair for Conservation Commission. Do I have any nominations for the office of chair?
Well, I nominate Tom Cronin.
Okay.
And do I have a second?
Sure. It's so long. I mean, I don't know you, Tom, but if Anne is interested, she did such a lovely time last time. I would be happy to suggest that if you would like that suggestion.
To be chair?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's fine to say no.
yeah, I mean, I think Tom has much more experience with leading an organization, being part of a board like this. If you're
I'm
You're
totally open to
interested.
it, yes.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, and as, again, obviously you don't have experience with the commission, but as role of chair, it's really about running a meeting and about policy and procedures, which I do know well.
Yeah.
So I'm very comfortable with that.
Having served on the policy committee of the Board of Ed, where Tom chaired that, which reviews all the bylaws and ordinances and policies and procedures for the Board of Ed, he extremely aptly led that organization when I was on the chair of the Board of Ed. So,
Thank you.
Great,
Thank you.
I would second that then.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to hearing more about what you'd like to accomplish on the, what you'd like us to work on
Mhm.
and focus on during your tenure. If you have any thoughts about that, I'd love to.
Well, I do have some thoughts. My thoughts are specific to sort of putting our efforts into two categories. One sort of big picture and then one more local. So what I saw on the agenda, for instance, South Avenue tree update, very local. So those type of things, I'd like to continue seeing us focus on really good efforts for the town, but also thinking a little bit, maybe once a year, on efforts that might take us to Hartford to talk about land issues in Hartford and how certain laws in Hartford would benefit the town in the conservation of open space. So that's sort of my vision, one local, one more big picture focused on big ideas. Because I do have some experience again with the land trust up in Martha's Vineyard in Stowe, Vermont. Some of these organizations are being funded through mechanisms that were provided through laws from the state and then passed down to municipalities. And I don't think we have that in place right now in Connecticut. And I think if we could find the right type of policy, I think it would go a long way for us to do the same thing that they're doing in some of these other municipalities as far as buying open space, preserving it.
Great.
What is the mission or purpose of this commission? Because conservation, it doesn't specifically say land, and I'm not asking because, I'm asking only because I actually don't know if we have a particular.
We have a
have-
charter, there's a charter.
Yeah,
There's
I
a
should
charter.
Probably read
Yeah.
We also,
It's our town code, so,
that. Yeah.
we also
I actually
have
have
a
a copy
mission
of it.
statement that we had worked on. We revised it a little bit more
Mhm.
recently.
right.
So I think that would be valuable
Yes.
for you. I can't quote it, sad to say, but it's, I believe, online, so you could easily find it.
Yeah, and everything we focus on should tie back to that mission statement. Should avoid that
Yeah,
mission creep that often happens at the board level or the committee level.
right. And we could also sort of take a look at that mission statement and do we want to adjust anything or times are changing, we want to include any new issues that we haven't looked at. So that could be something we add to the agenda for next time.
I think also we've had a whole series of issues related to the overarching sort of scope of conservation. I'm just going to say this because I think it's a fact. New Canaan is not in the forefront of new ideas. They tend to follow, and they like to follow Darien in particular, and then some of the other communities around. And right now, I think New Canaan is the only community in Lower Fairfield County that does not have some kind of a restrictive action on the use of gas blowers. It's either seasonal or.
I don't think Darien does, so we don't follow Darien.
I think they have.
I don't know.
I don't think
Sure.
they're very varied. I
Yeah.
will give you
Yeah, I
that
don't think they do.
in their scope.
Yeah.
Some are very
Sure,
aggressive,
yeah.
some are not at all. And from my
Pretty sure they
experience with the community of Pound Ridge, which I don't live in Pound Ridge, but I live like, a quarter of a mile from Pound Ridge. Their enforcement is pathetic. And I think that's an issue. It's not useful to have a restriction if you have no intention of doing anything at all about managing it, because the credibility is gone. So I think those are issues. And as I said, some communities have been, I think Westport is very aggressive, and Greenwich was the first. So,
But they have their own issues with enforcement.
Hmm?
They have significant enforcement issues in Greenwich.
yeah, well, everybody does,
Yeah,
because the
yeah.
police don't want to be out there looking at gas blowers. They have other
Exactly.
issues. I totally agree. So I think the enforcement issue is a big one to consider. If you have that in place, you have to have a mechanism. And last thing you want is the property owners all tattling on each other.
It's exactly what we don't want.
No,
Well, there's
So-
enforcement and then there's education.
There
Yeah.
we
It's
go.
out ahead of it and.
I've just read the charter. I don't think that's relevant to us.
It isn't.
gas blowers?
Yeah, I mean, we could make an argument that it. could be,
I'm
but I
really
think-
in
I
a
think it
big
isn't.
fan, and I've had to deal with this with other commissions. Yeah.
Yeah.
the vote, because that's what I'm here to talk
Yeah.
about, so.
Oh, okay.
This isn't.
Yeah, and it might be worth just reading out loud what our mission statement is, and then we can put that on the
Okay.
agenda for next time. The Conservation Commission was created to keep an inventory defining the town's open space and to evaluate those lands for the proper and potential use. We will also seek to advise in the development, management, protection, and conservation of our natural resources. So I guess that's advising the town
Mhm.
Town body, so,
body.
yeah,
So you're,
yeah, my
Okay.
office, town council,
Okay.
yeah.
and to coordinate our activities with existing town committees,
Right,
commissions,
so-
departments, and other conservation bodies. So yeah, that could be more specific if we wanted to dig in.
The chart, that's just a shortening of the charter.
Oh, okay.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
almost.
And you
same
can't
words.
change that without opening the charter, and that has to be through the charter revision process. So you can't just
Okay.
change your purview. It
I
has
think
to-
the scope of that is broad enough, and I would respectfully disagree. I think the air quality issues and the health issues that are involved with lawn maintenance equipment are significant. And I think that was the arguments of a lot of these other communities, that everybody is, the land maintenance people are under huge exposure. Many of them obviously are not even natives, and they're not English speaking, and they want a job. So they're not going to say anything, but you see it all the time. They don't even wear masks.
So let's get back to our
Can we get
agenda.
back to
Yes.
officer election?
Yeah, yeah.
We're kind of going into an agenda, and I have to say, the one thing I will tell you that when you post an agenda, you have to stick to the agenda, because now it's a regular meeting, but you have to vote to make any modifications to anything you talk about, because it is, these are submitted to the public. So the public needs to be aware of what you're discussing. So it is a regularly scheduled meeting, so you can, as a group, can vote to amend your agenda, but you really do need to stick to the agenda as it's published. So anyway, getting back. So we have a nomination. Do I have a nomination from Anne and a second from,
Yes, from Tom.
okay.
Yep.
All those, and do I have any other nominations before I close nominations?
I passed on my nomination.
Okay.
Thank you for that, though.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
All good.
Okay, so if there are no further nominations, if I could get all those in favor of Tom Cronin for Chair of the Conservation Commission.
Yes,
It's unanimous. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tom, for
yes, thank you. Tom.
taking that.
You bet.
We're gonna have to go Tom
Welcome to
C,
your
Tom
first
H.
meeting.
All right, and then we need a secretary for the commission. Do I have a nomination for the secretarial role?
Would you just share what that?
So
involves?
really, it's basically filing the minutes of the agenda. So, and I think people need to understand these are just a recapping of what was discussed. It is not super, it does not need to be super detailed. We do have a video recording of every single meeting. So the video recording, anybody that wants the gory details can watch the video. So it's really
The
just
video transcribed?
we do not do that at this point. There have been issues with the transcription, although I know the state doesn't. I've asked about it. So I guess there have been, some concerns, but yes, I think eventually we'll get there. Although quite frankly, I guess unless you like to read faster, I feel like listening to it at 1.5 is probably as fast as reading it.
I mean, it should, with AI.
Yeah.
It's like that, you get a summary.
Yeah.
And with my courses that I teach,
Yep.
Right.
it should be really quick
Yeah.
for everyone on the town
Yeah.
councils too.
We
Yeah,
can do it
if you-
ourselves. Whoever's the secretary can easily transcribe automatically on their phone as it
Yeah.
goes.
I don't even think you need to do that. The minutes don't need to be a verbatim regurgitation. It literally can be as short as you have to record all votes. So
Yes.
all votes need to be recorded. And then it can just say discussed X, discussed Y, it doesn't need to be, because we have the video.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be super detailed, by law. So,
I suppose you could record it yourself and then upload it to
Yes.
any AI assistant and.
Yeah.
Generate that way.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
want to do that?
I mean, I fell down on this job quite a few times.
It's time
It
consuming.
was more time consuming than I thought.
Susan, do you want to do it?
No, I've done it.
Okay, I will
Okay.
self-nominate, not
Thank-
because I want to be
Thank
clear,
you.
Okay.
but because I'm willing to.
Okay, all right. And you know, if you want, Tucker Murphy in our office can give you a quick lowdown on
Right.
what needs to happen. It really, I mean, it's great, the AI, it doesn't need to be that.
Right,
detailed.
I can,
Yeah, and
I'll-
you,
when I see that
work
first
with Tom.
version.
I
I
got-
can-
I was
yeah,
secretary of the
exactly.
Board of Ed.
Yeah.
It's,
To your-
you know.
Oh,
to your
that's a
point,
more dangerous
date,
position.
time, start a
It's
meeting.
not- I think people get a little too crazed about what they think needs to be in. It doesn't need to be as.
Anyway,
as-
I got it, I got it from board
Okay.
meetings. It's the same thing, record votes and
Yep,
Right, perfect.
don't do any more detail
Yeah.
than you're required to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
okay.
Okay.
So we have a nomination for Tom Hearn. Do I have any further nominations? Do I have a second?
I second. yeah.
Second. No further nominations. So could I get a vote for Tom Herman for the office of secretary?
All right.
All in
In favor.
favor? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. Thank you both for taking this on.
That's
Mhm.
fine. I will actually need a little bit of instructions on like the mechanics of where do I do it?
Yes, and that Tucker's great. I mean, it has to be filed with, so
Presumably I can file
Quickly-
electronically
yeah,
through an
quick,
email or
yes,
something.
quickly, all votes have to be recorded within 24 hours. Not the minutes don't have to be in, the minutes have to be in within 7 days. So you have to file all votes, I believe, within 24 hours of a meeting, but the minutes don't have to be in for 7 days.
that.
And Tucker, yeah,
Maybe do that, yeah.
yeah. So anyway, but Tucker can help you with the, so the mechanics, because they have to be filed with the town clerk, but I think either you send them to her or copy Claudia on them.
Tucker is this woman who was just here a moment. ago.
Yes, she's the town administrative officer, so.
I usually sent them to Lola.
Oh,
Sent all our minutes to Lola, and Lola would contact me with the agenda. And
Right.
so she was.
Okay,
Yeah,
there we
Lola,
go.
Lola posts for them.
Lola,
Yeah.
okay, Lola post,
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't realize
No,
that.
yeah.
So
I got it.
Lola
I
posts
have
for
an
you.
email from her, so.
Okay,
Good
great.
to
So then
go.
as long as it's Lola doing it, then that's great. Okay, so Tom, it's your show now.
All right, terrific.
You have the full agenda with you. Okay, great.
All right, I think we're through points number 1 and 2, so we'll move on to the third item on the agenda, and that is public comment. Is that- No?
So I like procedurally, like
Do you want to join us at the table with a
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
microphone?
I don't know if I'm allowed to do this. I mean, I wonder, my suggestion is to make it an agenda, to vote to make it an agenda item, because it's not really, I have something, I mean,
Okay, so it's not public comment, but it's more in your,
as your liaison, like
Okay,
I would have
understood.
liked to have.
Why don't you
Yeah.
comment about what you'd like to be added and they can
Right.
decide if they want to.
You want an agenda item to vote?
They'll have to, she can, as public comment, she could say what she'd like you to add and then you guys will have
I
to
was just
vote.
trying to follow
And
your
we'll
lead,
open it up
yeah,
for discussion.
procedural to follow. So happy to see everybody. So as I mentioned, I'm Jen Zonis and I'm a Democratic Town Council member. I'm the chair of the Conservation Committee of the Town Council. And Tom, I think I recognized seeing you and Annie, but I think you spoke. But obviously, the last few meetings we've had an agenda item. There's been a lot of conversation about gas-powered leaf blowers. And so our instruction from our chair and vice chair was to, instead of hastily, just because there was like such a public energy, push around this, instead of having just a hasty, ram something through that didn't have a lot of thought to it, to take the time and to get input from the townspeople, but also from entities that are stakeholders in all of this. So, for example, we wanted input from the police department, like how they felt about and about enforcement implementation. From Tiger, I don't know if it's happened, but I think I don't know, like Hillary will be speaking to, but clearly there's a lane for how would public works, handle any kind of restriction that was implemented. So we're trying to be really thoughtful about this. And so I reached out to Annie this summer in my quest to do, some research. And we had a great conversation. And so the agenda item I would like to vote on is that to sort of share where we on bylaws and ordinances, are in this process, roughly, and just some ideas that we had. And then it's, to share where we're at and see if, like, from that, you want to take this up a lane in participating in this conversation.
Okay. Understood. Okay, do I have a motion then to include in the present agenda discussion that Jen Zonas will lead on sharing bylaws and ordinances on leaf blowers for the town of June? Okay.
Yeah.
You have a motion, yes?
Motion.
Second?
Yes.
All those in favor? All right, perfect.
Susan, are you in favor?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes, perfect.
Thanks.
Okay, please.
Okay, so where we're at right now, again.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
would you just please frame this in a way that makes it relevant to us?
Oh, I will. If you,
It seems to me like we're landing.
I will, absolutely. If you could give me a second
Great.
I mean, I
Thank
can jump right in, which is that taken the public comment and the feedback that we got from the town council meetings, and then in a previous very long and engaged bylaws and ordinance committee meeting, and then individually doing our research about said ordinances from Pound Ridge, Westport, like looking at what other towns have done. We have been beginning to try to craft something and come up with a draft. There seems to be an interest, at least, like whether or not it is ultimately voted on by the town, I can't tell you, and everything is in a rough form, but it seems like at the very least there is an interest in the town, addressing concerns in some ways. So we are at the rough stages of formulating a very early draft of something. In a conversation that I had with Annie as my first outreach, we talked about, and something I picked up from Deanna and from just like a sense of, like, for example, articles I've read in Greenwich, that it's been a real headache with the first selectman and the police getting endless, phone calls, and they cannot possibly, every time someone is calling out a violation, scramble to address that. We had a very, I thought, thoughtful conversation, and I'm a big believer. And actually Robin Bates Mason also was a big believer. And in this way, it was a little bit of a pushback on what you said, that if there were modest seasonal restrictions or time restrictions, or an emphasis on enforcing the current noise ordinances on the books, you would get like 30% buy-in if it was publicized and marketed correctly to people. And so that education and promotion of a new ordinance is a great lane to be in, versus like heavy enforcement. And we talked about even words versus like enforcement, but implementation. And so what I wanted to throw out for you guys, and it's sort of plant the seeds as we are beginning to craft something. And, we don't have details to give you, but formulated in this draft based on our conversation was a concept of, if there was a seasonal restriction, that the first line of quote unquote defense or implementation, if it were that a neighbor, heard someone using a leaf blower at the wrong time of year or time of day, would there be a lane by which you guys could create a letter that is like the first letter that goes out? And we talked about like friendly, supportive buy-in versus negativity and harsh, like, you are a terrible neighbor and I'm, turning you in with your Scarlet A or GLB, whatever it's called, and say, did you know that these are the times, these are the things that, we would appreciate this. And perhaps it's one letter, maybe it's a second letter, or maybe it's one letter and then there is a violation or a ticket summoned. But I wanted you to start thinking about ideas. Would the Conservation Commission be interested in having a role in implementation of an ordinance instead of enforcement? And, you know, would you be interested in crafting a first letter? One idea that Hillary Orman and I had was also, I think it would be a great lane for you guys to consider, like, the marketing and publicity of this prior to. So for example, if it were to get passed and it were to go in effect in May, there's a lane that I could foresee you guys doing creatively, coming up with how would you publicize it? Like a one sheet that you created, could you create a database of landscapers, and could you help the town send this out to them to make sure they have it? And my personal philosophy is I disagree with you somewhat in that I believe even if there are violations, like onerous enforcement gets pushed back, but gentle encouragement over time, people change their habits. So I am in that lane, but I understand.
I'm not disagreeing with you
Yeah.
about that, I guess, because we have a bit of a history here. We had a commissioner who was passionately interested in this.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, she did not survive. I mean, it wasn't the leaf blower issue. She was ill. And it sort of the ball got dropped, so to speak. And so I'm fearful from the information that we were able to gather under Linda's sort of guidance on this. Other than there's sort of segments, smaller segment, I mean, the more applicable to your suggestion is the smaller lots in the downtown area where the properties are much smaller.
So let me clarify this. So, and this, I think, hope that this addressed what you were bringing up. I actually don't think this is the forum for input for you guys in terms of the details of what the ordinance would be. But we've been getting a lot of input from town members, and everybody in the public will be invited to our BNO meetings. I think the lift that I'm asking is, should we come out of committee with something and the town can weigh in, but whatever we land on, if we do land on something, could you be part of this so that and the lane is promotion and marketing and partial implementation?
I can speak to this a bit, and thank you for reaching out to me over the summer. I'm glad we're moved it into the public meetings. So for a long time, my understanding is that there has been a budget item for the commission to communicate with the public about various conservation issues. And Chris Schipper he had this leaflet that he would print out for everybody in town, and it would go in every mailbox. It would be whatever the messaging was high priority for that commission. So that's already something the commission has done for many years. And so we have played a role that's, you know, dovetails, I think, nicely with what you're saying, that part of the education and
Sorry, Chris Schipper is.
Chris Schipper was the former chairman of the commission and also part of the land trust, involved in Bristow, pretty much involved in all areas of conservation groups in town.
So that document that he was putting in everybody's mailboxes, was that as recent as under Robin's leadership? Or has it not happened for a while?
I don't know about anything that happened since I've been first selectman.
Yeah.
when Robin was
It did not
chair.
happen.
I don't think there's been anything.
Yeah.
He moved on to the New Canaan.
I'd have to look at your budget too, because I can't
It's not
remember.
Restricted.
It's what?
It's not restricted to one thing. They just have a blanket. like
Well, it's in
$10,000.
buckets. There's buckets within it because there was there's specific.
They had lines of what they were
Yeah.
looking at. Yeah.
Yes, there's definitely buckets. So we just need to look at what that is.
And I can bring in, I have some
Yeah.
old ones that were from
All right, I'd be very interested.
earlier era.
Yeah.
But then there are some cheaper options like using social media, the town's social media accounts, communicating through whatever digital platforms the town is running. So I think part of my interest in joining the group was to help with the, if there was a way to work on the communication. I felt I might be able to help in that area, given my background. And so I'm interested in pursuing that area and seeing how we can help with not enforcement so much, but hey, there are
Right.
existing rules, people may not know about them. Let's head off these neighbor to neighbor conflicts by getting the messaging out there in a positive neighborly way.
Right. Yeah, I would agree. Communication, not necessarily enforcement. Sort of lending a hand to, to the town and their efforts,
Promoting a more peaceful,
to
blissful
promote
New
more,
Canaan.
yeah, exactly. But not, again, not necessarily taking the lead, but being a strong partner in the communication.
Which again, would alleviate any burdens on other town departments, should this go forward. Like that's a great, I think it's an exciting opportunity for you guys to have, like a more concrete, project going forward, should this materialize.
I suspect we would need to see what the actual proposed ordinance would be before we agree.
So it doesn't exist yet, so we're in the
Yeah,
process, but what I
exactly.
was going to heavily encourage, as soon as we were in the process of scheduling our next bylaws and ordinance committee meeting, I'll let you know.
Sure.
And then if you could share it, and I really encourage you
Yeah.
guys to come to that. That's also an opportunity it's open to the public. So that is another place where you could get more specific about, things you'd like to see in the ordinance, or to see where we are in the process of crafting it. And then we could also, if the section of implementation comes up, feel free to, speak up about that. But so I really would encourage
Yeah.
you and support me in that
Sure.
meeting.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's also, in addition to any new ordinances you're working on, there are existing ordinances that are relevant to conservation, and plus there's the P O C D, which has, it went through all of that public feedback process and approvals already. And there are several pages that are just right in our wheelhouse. So.
Right, I agree. And whatever we can do to provide information to help you in your efforts, I think. As Deanna mentioned, I was governance chair for the bylaws committee at Board of Ed. And we did not write the 5,000 pages of bylaws on our own. What we would do is we would take best practices from as many as 15 other school districts. And we would look at each and every paragraph as related to the particular bylaw that we were crafting. And we would take the best practices. And sometimes we would find something that worked in Cromwell that might work in New Canaan, something that was being done in Darien that didn't match New Canaan at all. And it was a really good way to put things together. And again, best practices out of a filter of 15 best practices. So if we could do something similar for you in some of these efforts, like the leaf blowing ordinance, that would be
Yeah, I appreciate that.
helpful, I'm sure.
So thank you. Any other questions, but otherwise.
So
I would just say I'm also very interested in communications, particularly digital, and to the degree that I can support you or
great.
anyone else, I'm happy to.
Oh, I'm good.
So this conversation continues at the next meeting, or what are the next steps on this?
I would propose next steps. We learn what the ordinance is
Going forward?
when it's being put forward, and then
Okay.
I would
continue the
imagine it's like a
conversation.
few months.
Few months.
It's not gonna.
Yeah, I
don't think it's gonna be.
You know what,
next meeting.
I'm not being coy with anybody. Let's see where we're at
Yeah.
coming out of the meeting. I was just really excited that we had a great conversation
Yeah.
and I want to engage with you guys. And I mean, as I said, I'm planning on coming to your monthly meetings the best I can. So I can be, it may not always be this, but I'll try to be specific about an agenda item if I have something
Right.
relevant.
So two things, we should put this on the agenda for next time, I think, if
I
we
think you
wanted.
might be premature because bylaws and ordinances has to propose anything that they come up with has to go to the full council before anything is.
I mean, I guess the only thing is that I think you don't have to put it on the agenda item yet, but if as the month goes on, if I see that there's relevant information for me to share, or you guys creatively have come up, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. There's nothing to do yet, but
I think my point is
Yeah.
different. We should put communications on. It sounds like we've done it in the past. It sounds like there's some opportunities coming up potentially. I think we should discuss communications and find out what our budget line item is, if such a thing exists, and how we can or can't use it, or what kinds of approval. So all of that, let's go into that and make sure we pick that up. It
Okay.
sounds like a great thing for us to do.
and I think we're allowed to talk offline. There's no like FOIA about
You have to,
Yeah.
you
only
cannot,
them.
yeah, you are an
No.
appointed, so you have to do, like, you can't have non-public conversations.
We're not
Even
allowed to
me
talk
and
to each
Dan,
other.
like-
No, they can't. They
Okay.
can't have email conversation.
Okay.
They have to abide by the exact same rules you do
Okay.
as the town council.
Thank you.
Which is why when we spoke this
Yeah.
summer, I said, well, why
Yeah.
don't we talk about that in the
Yes.
next meeting? So that
Yeah.
was,
I know.
Okay, I need a little more info on that. I'm not allowed to have a conversation about this topic personally.
No, you can,
Oh, I can.
Yeah.
With other people.
But not
yeah,
with the,
Not with it. You cannot discuss the business before the commission outside of a public meeting.
okay, that's important for me to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it's very important because the
Yeah.
public, they
Yeah.
need to know what you guys are talking about. And so,
But you can schedule, I mean, you
You
could
can do a
schedule a
special meeting.
special meeting, just,
That means
you know, yeah.
And you can also talk about, you and I, not as a group, just you and I can talk about ideas as it relates to the commission that are not yet
Yeah.
forward as a
and
commission.
particularly never get into email discussions online.
Never as a group, right?
Never.
Good advice.
or text.
Or text, yeah,
Trains,
just
um,
like literally save it for the meeting.
I think, Tucker, we've had this conversation before. My recollection is if you're of the same party, you cannot talk to each other because that's
No, it's actually the same party
Opposite.
can talk to each other. That's a caucus.
Obviously.
The
oh, okay,
opposing parties cannot.
right. So.
Yeah.
Since we don't necessarily declare our party, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think that's an important consideration.
yeah, I don't think we know what
Right.
parties each of us are
Yeah.
part of because
Yeah.
we're not elected. I mean,
Right. But again, if it's not the business of the commission yet, I encourage you to have discussions individually with one another to talk about ideas as it relates to the commission. But if it is the business of the commission, like this would be the business of the commission now that is part of this meeting,
Mhm.
something that we would not want to discuss amongst ourselves outside of a regular meeting.
But as we get close, let's say something begins to formulate and we need something concrete from you to bring back, again, I encourage a special meeting to get the
Yes,
work done. That's like when we do bylaws and ordinances, you roll up your sleeves and it's a couple hours and you slog through.
Zoom, so the public can be a part of it.
Well, it's
All meetings
hybrid.
have-
It's
by
hybrid.
law now, all meetings have to have an online option. That's since COVID, that's a state law.
I'll make sure I communicate with you when any bylaws and ordinance meetings are coming up. And you can always watch them after the fact if you're tied up. Fun entertainment. Okay. Is that good for me?
Yeah, terrific. Thank you,
Thank
Jen. All right. Moving on. We saw the minutes of June 12th regular meeting. I can't comment on those. I was in the August 19th special meeting. I was part of that, so I can comment on those meeting notes. Do we have any proposed changes to those notes before I put forward a motion to approve them?
No changes.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the notes?
Aye.
Perfect.
Unanimous?
Yeah. Sometimes I won't. No, I'll go into this later as far as approving minutes, but sometimes we can do that without a formal motion. Isn't that true?
I have to check. I always have formal motions.
You do?
Always.
Okay.
On Board of Ed, Board of Selectmen, I always do.
Easy to
Okay.
do, right?
Yeah, easy. to do.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
a
so
big
we have a
Robert's
motion.
rules person.
Let's say Tom seconds it.
Yeah.
We're all in
Yeah.
favor. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, I should be recording the proposals and the seconds.
Yeah, that helps
Mhm,
too.
right.
But the joy is everything's recorded.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything's
I can
recorded,
get it.
unless, You forget to hit the record. Did somebody hit the record? button?
Yes.
We'll talk about it.
Oh, it's recording.
Okay.
That's good. We had an issue the other night.
Okay,
Can I ask one
Yes.
question about, oh, well, that's our next topic, actually, forget it.
the meeting schedule.
No,
No.
Bristow. So.
Oh, yeah, we do
because I
have,
Bristow
we do have a
question.
meeting schedule. I don't have the meeting schedule in front of me.
Oh.
I'm sure it was, I couldn't open up my laptop.
I think what Lola does is she put on a calendar,
Yeah.
all of the regular second Tuesdays,
Okay,
second Thursday, sorry, of the year, and that was that.
second Thursday, yeah,
I mean, they can be changed.
yeah. The only thing I look out for is holidays or if they're members of the commission that have kids in school, we look out for vacation days and such, but
You know,
Not
if
sure
you
that
have
applies.
30 days, within 30 days,
Mhm.
if you reschedule a meeting, you can
Right.
still have a regular meeting
yes.
instead of a special meeting.
Right.
And, but you just need to have it rescheduled more than 30 days
Yeah,
from
so,
the meeting.
so yeah, we'll go ahead and I'll look for a motion to approve the existing schedule, but to Deanne's point, at any point in time, 31 days in advance, if we need to make a change because of absence of a quorum, which is important, we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so do I have a motion to approve the regular scheduled meetings for the calendar year 2026?
I'll move.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. That's unanimous.
I can do the rest.
I was gonna keep it. All right, moving on to our fourth agenda item, that's the Bristow update. Who is providing the Bristow update?
I don't think we had a text under that particular.
That was my question, basically. Is it happening?
Oh, is it happens?
Well, as far as the Bristow update,
Yeah.
we've stayed with our normal maintenance schedule there for the Parks Department.
Okay,
And then I spoke to Robin last night about the existing signage at Bristow, the non-brown signage. And you had, the commission had approved the removal of those signs in a previous meeting. So we'll
Okay.
be taking those down, and then we're working on adding either a hanger off the bottom of the existing Bristow sign or an inset onto the Bristow sign that helps delineate the fact that the land trust is helping maintain the parcel, the property. So, and then since if we take down the non-park sign on in Mead next to the shed, there's really no signage pointing down the FlexiPay path to Bristow. So we need to order a new sign for there, similar to the one that's on 106, to be able to point with an arrow pointing down the FlexiPay trail. Because at that point in time, you either head up the hill to get into the Bristow or along the baseball field, and both of them lead into Bristow. So just one sign at the shed. So we're working on that right now. But that was, so I'll have my crews take down the existing signage, and then working with our vendor Signs of Success on getting a new sign in Mead, and then giving credit to the land trust for their assistance.
excellent.
Other than that, I think the park looks very nice. I haven't gotten any complaints about anybody saying anything other than it's a nice sanctuary and everything's working, quite well in there.
How about the Shakespeare? Is that going forward?
It got approved by the Parks and Rec Commission. So,
Because it's pretty soon, right?
yeah, I think it has to come to us tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's coming to us.
Yep.
They had to, like,
So
Yeah.
you guys
Scramble.
are likely to approve it too, right?
I don't vote for anybody else.
Vote for anybody else. Got it.
So Tuesday I'll go to the Board of
There's three of
Selectmen.
us, so.
What is that? The Shakespeare, is there gonna be a
Yeah, it's
performance?
really, it's vignettes. They're gonna, probably.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, do you want, I don't want to take over your.
No, I don't know.
Okay,
any
so
too
it's-
much more than you. but-
Okay, it's literally, it's the Performing Arts Conservancy
Of New Canaan,
of
right?
New Canaan. I don't have the proper name. There's probably a better name and I don't have it.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
Limonades. the-
Yes, the
yeah.
Limonades,
Limonades,
exactly.
and they are looking to have professional actors in little vignettes throughout the park. They'll sell timed tickets in small groups to come through the park and see little Shakespearean vignettes as they go
Love
through.
it.
So
As they walk through. the
What a
park.
great,
Yeah.
It sounds like it's gonna be
Partnership.
spectacular.
Yeah.
So
Going to be.
we really hopeful it gets.
Yeah.
what a wonderful use of it and getting people who don't know Bristow to
Yeah.
know it. I love that.
Yeah.
So creative.
So anyway,
I
thank
can't wait to
you.
buy tickets.
Yeah.
Well, I was pushing the council and it sort of fell on deaf ears, but we'll try again to, there's always a rehearsal, like a friends and family for a Broadway show.
Mhm.
I think they should include
They
town
are,
council.
they are
and-
looking to have a dress rehearsal with, members of boards and commissions.
terrific.
We'll
Good.
get to see it. So.
All right.
I'll still buy tickets.
We'll still buy
unless they're
tickets.
limited.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please.
So, but
At
Did
least
you-
that's what I heard.
did you say,
That's all I
is it
heard.
waiting Parks and Rec's approval or it got it?
No, it got Parks and Recs. Now it has to come to the Board of Selectmen because we approve all usage of the.
It
park.
came to
And
us too. We
Yeah.
approved it on the 19th of August.
So if there's any sale of anything in any park in New Canaan, it has to come before the Board of Selectmen.
So this is just a silly minor thing, but like, so we have a town council on Wednesday and at the end, if there's time, there's committee reports.
Mhm.
And so I like to have something for conservation. Would this be appropriate for me to?
Yeah, if it's approved, I think, yeah, and I'm
Okay.
guessing it will. I
Okay,
mean, I'm
and
not-
when is the date scheduled for?
October 4th.
Okay,
Really soon.
so I'll tell them to mark their calendars.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, fun.
I can send you the details from the Lemonades.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
appreciate that. Thank you.
great.
I bet you could get someone from the group to come in and read something in costume.
I'm sure Mike would love that. Another 20 minutes of like.
Shakespeare.
Okay, any other questions on Bristow or comments? If not, we'll move on to the next agenda item, and that is the South Avenue tree update. Is that yours as
But
well?
yeah, so the
Okay.
trees are doing quite well. We have a couple that are suffering. We've already replaced two. We have a couple of others that are on our watch list. We had about 6 that were suffering, 2 that got replaced, 4 that are that we're looking at. We had one that had to be taken out during the aquarium water work. They replaced that, and that one's not doing quite well. Didn't like being out and then being brought in, even though they tried their best to heal it in a different area and water it. So we're taking a look at that. If that one fails, Aquarian will replace that tree. But other than that, they're doing quite well. So, and all we've gotten is positive comments on the fact that, they look nice and they're starting to thrive, and some of them flowered, and, so it's been a nice addition so far.
I know there was a variety of trees. I remember when the lady was here, I can't remember her name. And she said
Betsy.
that the varieties were posted. I never found them.
I'll get you that list. How about that? Because I'll get you,
Very good.
what I'll get you is the as-built, because we had to create an as-built for the state.
I remember that.
So I'll get you that as-built so that you know exactly what they were, because it was, we had to move certain plants into certain locations just based upon what the state required as far as sight lines, things of that
Right, right.
nature. And then we had some residents that didn't want A type, wanted a B type of tree, it wasn't large enough, what have you. So we moved stuff around, but I'll get
I
you
think
the
there were
as-built.
like 5 different species.
Yeah, I just don't, off the top of my head, I just don't
I
remember what
don't
they were,
know.
so, but I'll get you the as-built, so you'll know exactly what they are, so you're walking along the street, you'll know this tree is.
I have my phone.
We got the
Yeah,
list.
I
We got the list on the Board of Selectmen when we were approving the purchase, so it had every single tree that was, so it's in
Right,
there
yeah, we'll
too.
find that.
Yeah, she said that was posted somewhere, but.
It's in our minute, so if you, I
I don't
don't
think-
remember the date, so you'd have to find the date that we discussed it
She
and then.
had
go
it
into the
posted. I don't
agenda.
know whether it was on Beautification League. It was someplace like that.
It might be on the Beautification League,
Might
we
be.
don't have it posted on our website. It might
No.
be on theirs, but I'll get you that list.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Any other comments?
The only other thing that's on the agenda is about the speaker, it says speaker not confirmed. If you see that on the bottom.
Yeah,
We gotta
we're
go
going
over
to,
it.
On
We gotta go
transfer.
over.
yeah, we have
Yeah.
one more. We have the transfer station update.
Oh, I'm not
Just
sure
part of
we
that, I'm
have
sorry.
that. We have our transfer station guest, or were you gonna give the?
Tigers are
It's,
transfer
it's under my,
station, yes.
it's under my purview. I always let Rob, I
That's
let
why you
Katie,
have an agenda, and you follow the agenda.
I let Katie talk, but it's really mine. So transfer station doing well. Our superintendent retired. He's been working for us part-time as we transition towards a new leadership there. I did have a new person move in, hired there, and I got some really nice compliments from existing users of the transfer station that it's cleaner. It's he's doing a nice job of basically taking the items out of their cars, disposing where they need to, cleaning up the area. So the area's been looking a little bit nicer. In talking to Robin, we talked a little bit about, and then we striped the parking. I think this is the last time we were here. So we striped the parking spaces. So that's a little bit better.
A lot better.
Okay, fantastic. And then in talking to Robin, we talked about the fact of the just direction from the staff, the swap shop staff. They tend to like to give direction about the transfer station. So we just like to keep them giving direction about the swap shop and not the transfer station. And we're going to start limiting how long you can stay at the swap shop, right? Because we're having a problem with parking and others. And so we're going to limit that around 20 minutes. So, because I think in 20 minutes you can do your shopping or your swapping and then move. We have people that are necessarily staying all day because they want to see if the next greatest gift comes in. And I don't necessarily blame them, but at the same time, we don't have a lot of room in the area.
That's a good idea, because people kibitz, like they stay and they.
Yes, yeah. So, and then,
Also just lurk, waiting to see what people are unloading.
right. And that tends to start to create conflict, right? Because somebody's sitting there waiting and it never comes out of the car. People get it. So the thought is you get 20 minutes, you get to do your swapping in 20 minutes. And then you're welcome to come back. You just need to vacate the property and then.
The success of our swap shop has been that there have been very clear rules.
Yes,
And so we have not had issues unlike other communities.
right. Yeah,
So we would like to
Yeah.
keep it
exactly. We are doing much better than our peers, our peer groups around. We haven't had anything that has escalated even to my level.
No,
albeit
despite-
to her level, right? So nothing of that nature. And it's because the staff has been very good. The volunteers have been excellent and the direction and the rules have been followed. So it's been pretty good.
So they manage like if someone's staying too long, they'll go out and.
They'll manage that. Not going forward, because this literally was a conversation with Robin last night as to what to do about this. So now going forward, my staff will be directed that, we need to move people along. Swap shop staff will be directed to move people along, and then we'll ask them nicely to move along. And they're welcome, like I said, they're welcome to come back many times during the day as they'd like to, but you just can't necessarily park there all day waiting for.
kind of like parking in downtown. You can stay for a certain amount of time, then you have to leave for an
You
hour
have to leave.
and then you can
Right.
come back.
Right.
Well, you
This is
can
why
move
my
over
son
to
likes
the
to be a
mulch
slug.
bins there and
Because he
stay
gets
there
to
for a
see
little
all the
while.
stuff that
and
comes
come
in,
back.
help people unload the cars and get the construction.
Exactly. Exactly.
Exactly. The perks of volunteering, right?
So it's so it's been for us, I think it's been a very successful endeavor. And then we'll be looking to just increase some additional things now with the new superintendent coming in or new leadership coming in. We're looking at other avenues to pursue on the recycling side, be it mattresses, be it paint, be it some other things. And with that, we have a shred day coming up.
September.
I think it's coming up within the 20th, I believe. And then yes, from 8 to 12. And then the following week, we have our Household Hazardous Waste Day as well. So
Can you do outreach for all of those?
we do.
And it's on the website.
Right.
It'll be on if you ever go to the newcanaan.info website, the homepage, anything that's like immediate or in the next week or so are super important. We have like the lead articles at the top. Those dates will be on there. We make sure that those are on there. Because I can tell you when I was first selectman, I didn't know, before I was first selectman, I had no idea when those days were. And I'm like, I want to know when shred day is and I want to know when
Right.
the household
Yeah.
hazardous waste day.
So gratifying. Thank
Yeah,
you for
and
those
we've had
things.
at the station, the message board has been up with these messages now. And for Household Hazardous Waste Day, we actually plant another message board on Main Street, since that's the preferred route in. And we'll plant that next week for people to then know that, because it's the last of the series. So we are the last of our group, because we share with Darien and Norwalk. And we're all everybody's allowed to go to everyone else's, and we're the last of the year. So we like to make sure that everybody knows it's coming, and B, knows where to go. So the highway department will put that message board out.
And you put it in your
And I,
Do you have Everbridge?
yes.
He does
I'll
an
put it in my
Everbridge
Everbridge.
alert. So if you're signed up, encourage people to sign up to get those alerts. Then you'll get those alerts about
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah.
So on the topic of transfer station, just out of curiosity, I love the topic. It's maybe my favorite topic.
Right? Like,
For me, yes,
obsessed with it.
I do construction waste. So yes, I'm very interested. But why is it part of the Conservation Commission? Because again, reading the charter, it looked like land.
It came about,
Sustainability
yeah,
is-
the sustainability side was pretty much on.
We
the
don't have
recycling.
the word sustainability didn't show up there.
I think
I thought,
conservation, like this seems to fall under conservation efforts. If it's not, maybe we should talk about that.
Yes, Tom, I would love to have the question mark of why sustainability isn't a word in our
Okay.
charter or our,
That has to go
Vision.
through the town council.
yeah.
That is not a, you guys can't just change
May I
that.
mention one thing?
Yeah.
So again, not cart before the horse.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we actually haven't had this, but at this Wednesday's town council meeting, I believe, I mean, you haven't set the agenda yet.
No.
There's the possibility of a vote on whether or not to open the charter. So, okay,
This charter or the town charter?
the town charter. So again,
Ah,
I didn't say that's happening. It's not on the agenda, but there is the possibility that that will be on the agenda. If that is on the agenda, and if the town council votes in favor of opening up, two big ifs, immediately we're going to have to put together a list of potential people to be on the Charter Revision Commission. Okay? If anyone is interested in having me put forth their name, because I'm hearing this, like, you know, I know it's another time commitment.
Yeah.
Please contact me and send me your resume. So I would be ready to go should that happen. And I,
Sounds like opening the Chamber of Secrets.
yeah, but I encourage you, because if they do open the Chamber of Secrets, it sounds to me like you're gonna wanna be part of that conversation. I can't guarantee that, but you should at least get me prepared. So I'm encouraging you, if you're interested, to reach out to me and get me your resume.
Okay.
I think the origin of that, just
Okay.
for your information, sort of slipped in an effort to eliminate landfill and pollutants going into landfill and the resultant soil pollutions, et cetera, that ultimately flow into water courses, and that's how we got in.
Excellent. Thank you. That helps.
that does help.
Mhm.
If you think about it that way.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in this town, but.
That's
often If
exactly,
you don't have a viable transfer station to swap, then things get thrown on the side of the road. And the most popular place to throw those things are land trust properties and municipal parks and the like, where nobody's actually monitoring.
Which,
So
I don't know who's,
there is a top for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a little after one, in an effort to kind of keep this going, do we have, I'm not familiar with the next agenda item speaker.
Yeah, it's just a quick, before we lose everyone, we should
Okay.
try to keep these meetings to exactly an hour, but, so we came up with this idea to have speakers come in and talk to the commission about, areas that are relevant to our priorities. So, something we tried during the last year, and, we had two speakers. One was Bill McDonald, who was the, Firefly guru. He was amazing and taught us all so much, and it got kind of threw out some ideas for how the town could be helpful to this area.
Right.
And then we had Frank, last name.
Light
Hello,
pollution or
Gallo, I
birds?
think.
He was
He was he's the
Bird
bird.
guy.
He was the former person at New Canaan. I don't know, is he still at Nature Center?
He
still
he
does
is still
ad
there.
hoc
Yeah.
with them,
Yeah.
Okay.
So he works at the Nature Center, and teaches about birds and bird migration. And he came and talked to us about how New Canaan can help support the migrating bird population that, settles into all our backyards, how residents can be helpful and also the town. And so I learned a lot from those sessions, and I can send those to you, Tom, since you're
That'd be
just
great.
coming in, so you can kind of get a sense. I think we should put on the agenda for next time. Did we find that useful? Do we want to keep doing that? If so, I can keep arranging for guest speakers to come in. They spend 15 minutes advising us on areas where, we need to hear their expertise and advice. So,
Okay,
maybe next time we discuss that and
Yeah.
vote on it.
okay. Sounds good. Any other comments on that?
I think there's some very valuable topics that we have discussed in the past. And I think while we did not get a huge audience for these events, it's useful for us, and possibly we might be able, to your point about communication, invite more public participation to these open speakers.
I'd love to do more promotion around
Yeah.
those. We only did 2, and, knowing that the first,
Yeah, if you have things that you
citizens-
want to put, if you want to promote something you're doing in my monthly newsletter, I'm happy to, you can work with Greg Riley, who's the communications and grant writer for the town. He helps put together those newsletters, and, he consolidates everybody's stuff, so.
I think it would be, to extend that into some of the other topics that we're interested in, it would be very valuable, to your point, that you start with a base of this is why we're wanting to move forward with this, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I think because of this town's various different natural resources that are so vulnerable because of the distribution of public facilities being so limited to the downtown, I think it's very good information for some of these property owners who tend to see themselves as, they don't see themselves as stewards for the property. That's too annoying, I have to think about that. I've had these conversations with my neighbors. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to know.
Okay,
So,
terrific. Well, we'll go ahead and agree then to put that on the agenda, and then when the agenda does come out, then everyone will have the opportunity to provide comment on the entire agenda and that agenda item, as far as kind of fleshing it out and what we plan to discuss. But
Great.
that's a good idea. All right, with that, it's 1:10. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So-
There are no other questions? So moved?
Yeah.
Second hand? All those in favor? Great, thank you all. And we'll, as Ann mentioned, we'll make an effort to keep meetings to an hour or less. If more time is required, I think we just simply move it on to a second meeting unless it's urgent.
Yeah,
But I think it keeps everybody interested and engaged if it's just a 1 hour meeting.
yeah, and we were also thinking this would be like your lunch hour, if you wanted to attend, if, residents wanted to attend.
Right. Yeah, and also helps people like Tiger. You saw Tiger leave exactly at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
He has a schedule.
Yeah. So if you have a suggestion for, she was asking about the timing on this.
Like to
So-
fix the clock?
Yeah, what do we need to do?
Maybe just in the settings on the,
I'm gonna end the recording now.
Yes,
Yep.
please.
I'll